Hey guys, what's up? This is Cobalt coming back at you with another weekly watch list here. Going to go over what we're looking at as usual this week. So coming into this week, we're going to start with news. We have a lot of news right off open, in all honesty. Here coming off Monday, we have 9 a.m., 8:50 FOMC member Bowman, ECB president, and at 9:45 we got Chicago PMI. So we do got a good bit of news around our trading time there. Same thing here on Tuesday actually. 9:30 a.m. from 9:45 a.m., 10 a.m. We got manufacturing PMI, final manufacturing PMI, and then we got a bunch of other news as well at 10. So Monday, Tuesday, very similar in that sense. Wednesday, 9 a.m. we got S&B quarterly bulletin and FOMC member Hammock speaks. FOMC member Musalim speaks at 10:05 a.m. and then 10:30 a.m. we got crude and oil investors. 11 a.m. FOMC member Bowman speaks. So we have the entire morning of Wednesday practically packed with news. It's going to be a lot of these days this week. We're going to want to be gone pretty quick. Not look to stick around with news. Thursday we have off open, near open, 9:45 a.m. We're going to have final services PMI and then 10 a.m. ISM services PMI and factory orders MM. 10:30 a.m. we got natural gas storage, and then 10:40, only 10 minutes later, do we have FOMC member Bostic speak. So quite a lot of news as well there. Friday is going to be at 8:30. We got back-to-back big news reports, average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, and an unemployment rate. 9 a.m. right near open. We're going to have FOMC member Williams speaks, and then 10 a.m. IBPMI. So this week is absolutely slammed with news, more so than even the last few weeks were. So this is just a week to be aware of, and just go in and be aware of the news when it's going to come, and not be caught in a trade when that comes in around. We can catch some pretty good, nice, big moves near our levels when news kicks in, but you need to be careful if you happen to be in a trade when the news does come around, in case we have a reversal of what direction you're in. So coming into the earnings this week, literally nothing. I have no point at even mentioning anything on this list here at all whatsoever. So it is practically nothing worth mentioning. So going right into the markets this week, what we're going to be looking at on ES is we're going to be looking at the 58.30 level to the upside. Downside, don't have a whole lot here personally. Maybe the 57.78 level. It does look like a bit of a consolidation development here, and honestly a potential reversal, but it really could go either way here, so I'm not going to call anything on that. Honestly, there's no point. So what I'm looking for is, like I always say, I really don't like to see consolidation too much on the market. But at the same time, it's really not too relevant given our small time frames, on the way we trade. It's not really too relevant, but I want to see some definite direction for sure on a day-to-day basis. I don't want to see on a single day this, right? I want to see more so this. So that's kind of what we're looking for, especially with news this week. As close to open as we can get. I don't want to be seeing too much choppiness here, as you can see, like here on these days here. You can just see these are nasty wick days, and we're just not getting a whole lot of clean price action like last week was just kind of gnarly. We want to see some cleaner stuff like that coming into this new week here, because at the end of the day, that's going to give us more decisive direction on whatever trade we decide to take. NQ, again, not a whole lot here as well. I got the 20,158 level here on NQ. We got a bit of a 1 hour uptrend. I think this actually was on the 4 hour, but this is on the 1 hour here as well. Upside 20,395 and then 20,538 are my upside levels. Just some pivot rejection points. Nothing too substantial on that, with regards to that. We just have some notable levels here. Just some basics of play, support and resistance levels here. Nothing crazy. You could also even include this. If we get down to this is pretty far. The 20,025 level, or even if you want to classify that as a 20,000 level, I would personally. I'm going to make that. So, if you watch here, we kind of want to just see the same thing here as we did on, I was talking about on ES, was downside acceptance, right? Or upside, but I just need to see acceptance of one or the other. I don't want to see just kind of a consolidation range. Those would never give us the greatest plays. And more so beyond that is just not having wicky days, right? Those consolidation days where, we have large wick movements where the bodies end up being less than that of the total wick range. It's horrible. It's very hard to read. So on Apple here, we don't have a huge really the best super quality setup, but it's still a pretty quality setup here. At the 230 level specifically, it's going to be at the 229.51 level here. As you can see, we have a bit of a triple top or a flat top, if anything. This is going to be our key level here, going into the psychological 230 level as a break. We have a pretty good amount of room here as well. Nothing really until 232, really. If you want to get the closest one would be 231.70, so I just put that at 232 personally. Nothing really substantial upside trend-wise. Nothing really, trends related other than this one hour trend. Might have been on the 4 hour as well. And that's going to the upside, so if anything in our favor, it's going to act as support unless we get caught below it and start seeing as resistance. So Apple is going to be 229.50 into 230. Target's really going to be probably based off price action, 230.50 cents, 231, kind of that range. Not looking for anything crazy. That's a big move at that point to be overextended on the 1 minute, as well as likely the 5-2 as well. So AMD have a bit of a flat top, or double top rather, here on AMD. Also have a gap to start here, gap fill at 160, I think it was 169.80, and that goes all the way up to 174.53. So what we're looking at on this specific trade would be to see about an entry around 168.70 cents range potentially. We do have an upside trend here, so I probably would be looking to take this closer to the level here at 170. Probably near the start of the gap would be my actual realistic entry. What I'm going to probably do here is I'm going to have just a 169 to actually kind of make note of, okay, we're approaching here. And once we crack kind of this double top here and actually have confirmation above that, that's going to give me enough indication that this trade is likely to happen that day, right? So if we can't even get above that area right there, the 168.68 cents to 169, specifically 169, obviously is going to be a cycle level with a wall probably on level 2 more than likely, then we're not likely to see that trade that day, right? So AMD, though, is going to be that 170. On this company doesn't have the biggest, craziest follow-throughs. Something to just be aware of. Probably $1, 171, nothing crazy. The room on this, we do have a notable room with the gap, but, like I said, I don't like to hold too long. 171, like I said, that's a pretty decent little level right there. You can see here on historic charts, 171 typically holds a pretty notable level of respect. So I think that's personally going to be my kind of target, that 171 level on AMD. And then so Oracle is actually going to be the next setup. We don't have too many this week. We only have 4 total setups. Tesla's going to be the final one. It's going to be on the side, but that's after this one. So Oracle actually is one of my favorite. Only problem with Oracle is it's a subpar company. So ultimately the fundamental concept is subpar companies are always just going to be something that are never really even almost worth taking, but the quality of the setup is good enough here to justify if this comes up in the right way, and I like it. The momentum, the spread, the volumes on the contracts, then this was something I seriously considered. At the 170 area, around that 169.50 cent, depending on how we approach. We got the last high. We tried to break above this flat top, double top range. Just struggled to do that. We couldn't even crack and hold above 169. So that's going to be something I want to watch and see. 169, break a hold above, or 169.11 cents even, our recent high. So and kind of see what we get there from that point. 169.50, I'm going to really be seriously watching this for entry then at that point and have it loaded up. But target on this company does not give crazy price moves. This is not something like Meta or anything like that, Tesla. So for me, I'm going to be looking maybe about $1 max, not even 50 cents, or even just be out on the break. Just kind of depends on the strength and momentum we have there, and reading the tape at that point. So, but this does have some pretty notable room here, as you can see. We really don't have anything significant here until about 172.40, 172.30 cent range. So could be a potential hold, but I personally probably going to be on the scalp on this one because of how low quality of company this is, even though it's a great setup. Final setup. This is going to be a side watch. It's turning into more of a main as the weekend's gone on. It's coming and approached in pretty nice. The only issue with this company, or the only issue with this trade, would be that on Tesla here, at this point, we're at an almost near all-time high congestion area. Obviously, I talked to you guys about this in previous watch list, how to understand volume profile. We'll be making an educational video in the future on it. But understand that the volume profile is just simply a way in which it's a data point in which basically measures your total volume density over a given time frame. So right now I'm in the 1 hour year mark. So time frame range of 360 days and 1 hour candles. So this is going to showcase your total 360 day volume profile. And what this tells me right here, this total range in the last year is going to be an extremely high density range. And so high congestion, i.e. meaning a high level and high probability range of rejection. So this is why personally, I'd be, if I was in shares, I'd be liquidating here because this is not a place to hold. This is looking like going to be a rejection area. We already saw rejection here, and it just as easily, if the buyers hadn't stepped in because of all this news related rallying, as Tesla does all the time, this news rally, once this runs out with the taxis, this is going to reverse, guaranteed back below 200, almost 100%. Then that's why you want to be very wary of that, because at this point with this setup, even though it's what we do with a short time frame, this could be the start of the major rejection. So it's something to just be aware of, and be very tight with your stop, aware that 10% should be your max allotted on this. Go up price action, of course, but just don't get loose with it. So 262, 263 is going to be kind of the area we're looking at. 262.68 would be the recent high, of course, kind of looking at entry even, and you could hold this to 265 even. It really just kind of depends on how our approach is, because this could be kind of the final pop of the rally here as well. So it's kind of either way. I think it's going to really come down to what it does over off open in the morning. So I think that's what we got to kind of consider. So overall, like I said, those are going to be our setups for this week going into Monday. Some of these, AMD might not come till Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday-ish. You just really don't know. Apple, same thing, or even Oracle as well. So that's why it's a weekly watch, right? So overall, that's going to be the list today. We didn't have a whole lot to go over. That's overall everything. So this week's another normal week. We have some news, a lot of news. I would just size regular sizing this week and approach every setup, as we always do, with proper risk management, proper psychology, having confidence in your trades, not taking a trade because you want to, but because it's the right thing to do at the time, based off the tape, based off the data, not because you are biased and you think it's a good setup. Not taking it because anybody else says to. And just go into this week with a clear mind and assess it based on your own systematic approach and your own, drawn up strategy and the way in which you trade. Okay, so you know what you need to do. You're a professional, and attack it as such. So let's go into this week. Let's lock in and let's do what we do every week and kill it. I'll talk to you later, guys. Peace.